And welcome in to another Monday Night live stream. I just want to make sure I actually had audio working. I'm still making changes to the studio. A couple changes. Well, I forgot a light, first of all. Oops. Um, so, first of all, this monitor now, this below the camera, is showing me program instead of multi-viewer, which I think will help me focus on the camera instead of looking around. I also completely redid my Stream Deck. So now I have pages. So the first page is basically just a menu of all the subpages. So if I want to change program source, I can go to its own page. If I go to preview, I can change preview. Graphics will come in handy later because we're going to show two graphics, at least two graphics. And so yeah, so I kind of redid my Stream Deck, and so hopefully that makes some things easier. I see the chat seems to be working tonight. Maybe YouTube and maybe YouTube fixed some of their issues. I don't know. I did realize that the chat issue was not my browser. It was experienced by Keith on Tuesday of last week. And then it was commented, or actually Aaron Precki joined Keith's stream last week and saw it. And then I think he commented in the Discord channel that he has that Lily saw it too. Is it Lily? I think it's Lily. So it wasn't just me and Chrome. It was, generally speaking, several people saw the same issue. And at last check, I don't think Aaron had a fix. But so far, so good. So let's see here who's in the chat tonight. First, as always, is David Grishko. Are you grilling? Are you cooking? Are you assembling? What are you doing tonight, David? Because usually you do something while the stream is on, so I'm curious to know what you're doing tonight. Joe is in the house. Welcome in. Glad you can make it. David asked already, I need a multi-stream soon. Is this a good solution? We will discuss that in a bit. We'll just discuss that in a bit, so hold on. Eric is in the house. Welcome in. Eric says the audio and video is good. I hope so. David, what light? Yeah. I really do want to just call these streams, F it, we'll do it live, but I don't think that YouTube would like that. So, but I really do want to just call it that. Practical IT with Jeremy is here. Welcome in. I missed your live stream yesterday. I know you didn't do one, but I missed watching. We were kind of busy yesterday, but maybe if you're going to go live again, let us know when. Also, Jeremy, how was your internet? Are you good now? Everything working like you want it to? Setup looking good. Well, thank you. So one of the things I actually did want to talk about, and I can show you, is this background. I'm trying to figure out if I want to buy a background or paint a background or buy shelves or whatever it is. So I'm kind of open to ideas. My current thought is maybe getting some shelves, and I'm a big fan of Legos, as some of you probably know, and I'm going to probably put some Lego sets here. The other thing I thought about and is displaying my. This is not my collection. This is just something I saw. This is just something I saw online, but basically making one of these. The only thing I don't know, maybe you guys can help me with this, is where do you find a TV life? Where would I get a custom sign like that made, where it says TV life? I would love to know if you have a resource where you can get custom signs made. I would greatly appreciate that. If you know, drop it in the chat tonight. So, first things first, I did stumble across the source of the main topic of this channel stream tonight is RTMPie. Basically, what is RTMPie? Well, some of you probably know that NGINX, which is a web server, has the ability to be an RTMP server. By default, you have to go edit a configuration file. And most of us can probably do that, but I was kind of thinking like bigger. Okay, what if you wanted to have multiple streams, or what if you wanted to set up a stream and then take it down, and what if you know wanted to do that? So I started looking around for a basically a web front end or a management console for RTMP, and I found there's a link to this in the description below, RTMPie, and it's basically a web-based management portal for the RTMP NGINX module. So I figured, let's just build it on the channel. It's Docker. How hard can it be? And that should probably trigger some of you right now going, wait, he just said Docker. He doesn't like Docker. Yes and no. I would prefer to build things myself or just have it built into the OS, not have to run a Docker image. But I also know that Docker images are very popular. I know if Bob was here, he would sing the praises of Docker. I think he loves Docker because he uses Unraid. I'm sure some of you are probably Docker fans as well. I guess I just like to build VMs and have dedicated servers for things. But you can run Docker in a VM, which is what we're going to be doing tonight. So, back to chat, which is actually working. So this is awesome. Eric says Aaron's wife, Lily's stream was affected okay. Yeah, I never actually seen her channel before. I mean, I never actually, I don't subscribe to her channel, and look at it that way. I probably should. Eric's folding laundry. Okay. Yes, that's right. She does. Yeah, she does economics stuff. David says, I'm fixing my air conditioner this time. I forgot to change the filter in my evaporator. Oh, that happened to me a couple of years. Well, we had just bought the house. That happened to me. The whole coil just froze up, and but it actually like broke. Like it froze and then punctured, and then we had a leak. So I definitely had a refrigerant issue. And the guy, I remember telling me, like, this is the last time you can recharge this because they don't make that refrigerant anymore. I don't remember the R22, maybe that sounds familiar. But yeah, so hopefully we don't have to redo the air conditioning anytime soon. I hope it's not a refrigerant issue as well. Yes, that'd be bad. Speaking of air conditioning, if mine is too loud, I realize I left the door open over there. So if it's too loud, let me know. I can go close the door. Jeremy says, I put the old cable modem back into service and all the problems are basically gone. So it wasn't your router? It was actually the modem? Interesting. Badges and lanyards, yes. It does look like it came from Hobby Lobby, except I don't think it did, only because that's a very custom and odd sign. But they do carry that sort of that style of sign. I've never seen it anywhere. That's why I'm curious if any of you know of a place to get that made, because I would love to see that stuff. So, and just as I was thinking chat was working great, now I'm questioning whether or not it's actually updating. Okay, so David says, I'm a Docker container fan. I like to make build files and host my own container repo. Wow. Oh, you can't hear the AC at all. Awesome. That's perfect, because it's like 15 feet that way. So yeah, so let's start building this RTMP IE, and we'll show you what it's all about. So let me go over to my PC, and as you know, I use XCPNG. So I have a template down here called Debian. Again, as you probably all know, I'm moving from Ubuntu to Debian. I hate the fact that you have to get certain packages, or certain packages are paid for or subscription based, even if it is free. So we're going to go to new VM, use my template called Debian, RTMPie. Then I'm basically going to do the defaults for all this stuff. This server does have a lot of RAM. and I mean a lot of RAM. It's one reason why I'm not concerned about Docker at all, because RAM is not an issue for me. So neither is processor power. So really not a problem doing it this way. So I'm going to call the hard drive the same thing just because why not? The server actually has an SSD array, and it has a regular spinning hard drive array. So I have, is it 5 spinning hard drives in this server? 5 SSDs, that is, and I have 5 regular hard drives as well. So more storage than I need. I mean, for VMs. I'm not making a NAS out of this. This is a VM server box. So I have a true NAS for storage. And yeah, that's fine and fine. So we're going to create the VM. And this thing is, being it's SSD based and it's small, it's already built. So we're going to go power it on, or actually, I think by default it does turn on. So this is a pre-built image, which has my SSH keys built in. Password authentication is turned off. So all we have to do in here is come in here and give it a new host name, reboot it, and then I can connect to it remotely. So I'm gonna log in, and then we're gonna edit the host name. Call it RTMPie. Exit and save. And then sudo reboot. Is it now? And so while that's doing, I'll go back to check the chat. Can't hear the AC either. David says he's moving to Debian 2. And the chat seems to be bigger than usual. I need to fix that font apparently because that's very large. Eric says, thanks to DJ Ware, I'm going to start using Debian as well. Yeah, I mean, Tom Lawrence has always used Debian, and I just feel like it's better to go to the base OS than try to deal with someone else's flavors or customizations. Maybe that's just me, but that's kind of the way I'm feeling these days. That being said, I will probably look at Mint. I don't know if any of you have actually used Mint, but for my Rivendell audio system that I use for radio stations, they are moving away from CentOS, so they suggest Mint as one of the alternatives. They have a build guide for Mint, I believe, so I'm going to probably try that. Maybe that's a future stream. Also, speaking of future streams, I do really appreciate all of you who comment or who voted in my poll today. I'm going to try to do that more often to kind of see where you guys want to go in terms of streaming. But Rivendell is probably one of those things I'm going to do again, just because that is one of my highest viewed streams on my channel. Actually, I think it's my highest viewed stream, period. So obviously it's a popular thing people are looking for, and so I'll be doing that. Speaking of just YouTube statistics, I am now averaging almost 2 new subscribers a day. Sorry. I'm averaging 2 new subscribers a day, which I just think is crazy. You all know this is a hobby. This is just fun for me. So the fact that people are subscribing daily, I think is just, it's absolutely incredible. So I just want to thank you all again for being here. And yeah, Eric says, definitely get that view hours in with Rivendell. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, when I play the YouTube game, if that's a popular stream and it's an hour-long tutorial on getting started, definitely an option. So let's go back to, get the chat off the screen. So this should be up now, and should log in and get the IP address just to make sure I know what it is, .32. So I'm going to switch over to, I'm basically done with this now. and I'm going to switch over to a program called MobaXterm, which, if you never heard of this before, is a great tool. I actually do pay for a license for this, so it is a great tool. And here's my system up and running. So just, prove there's the same IP address. And because it's all template based, this was really easy for me to just connect. Actually, I read that's not true. You get watch hours for every view. I looked that up actually. So unless the place I was looking it up was wrong, I believe you get watch hours for streams. Well, I guess post live, because it's be replays. Unless that's what you're referring to. I'm sorry, I could be wrong. Maybe you're referring to the replay, because that would count. All right, so the first thing we got to do to install RTMPie is basically make a directory. And so I'm going to do a sudo make directory. So, and then we're going to switch to that directory. And then we're going to do a wget. So sudo wget, download this little shell script that they have. So then we're going to do sudo bash setup.sh, RTMPie. This is my internal domain. We're not going to do SSL. I don't want to deal with it right now. And then we're going to do a Docker compose. So this is actually a brand new installed Debian, so I don't actually have Docker compose installed yet. So let me make sure I get the latest version. So then we're going to do a sudo apt install Docker compose. Yes, I want to install all the stuff. Is MobaX coloring text? Yes, I did. This is standard MobaX. I haven't changed a thing. Oh, okay, yeah. So the replay views count. So Joe, I'm actually installing Docker on a Debian virtual machine, and then I'm going to install RTMPie, which is that web management front end for RTMP, and then we're going to demo that quickly. So now we did the we have Docker compose installed, and since we're in the same directory, wrong window. We can do a sudo docker compose pull, which will pull 4 different Docker images: the PHP, caddy, RTMP, and the database. I'm not a big Docker person, so I'm not 100% sure why they're different Docker images. I'm guessing one is web page, one is some sort of database that it uses, and then RTMP module. Again, I'm not sure. I'm sure one of you can explain why they're different Docker images or how to see what they're doing. So David says, I like how it pops the text that matters. Yes, and I believe the guy who showed me how this program said you can actually make your own like tables. So if you want, for example, the word Docker to be a certain color, or Python 3 or whatever it is be a different color, you can actually make your own tables and have it point to, color certain things for you, which again, yeah, I find very, very helpful. David says the different Docker images are because they each use their own service. You can, okay, so they're like different services. That makes sense. Oh, microservices. Okay, that makes sense. So finally, we're going to, now that it's pulled down the Docker images for us, we're going to just do a sudo docker compose up, and in theory it's running. If we go over to our Chrome tab and we go to HTTP RTMPie. Hey, look at that! It was that easy. That's crazy. The login is admin, and here we are at the interface. There's not much to it, at least getting started with. So currently there are no streams configured. So let's go up here and create a stream, and we're just going to call it test because the first one's always got to be test. So we're going to create stream. There is the URL, and if you want to show the credentials, which I can because it doesn't matter at this point. So I'm going to copy these and then go over to OBS. I'm going to do it on a separate window, so sorry if you don't actually see this for a second. But I'm basically just copying the standard server and the standard stream key into OBS. And then we're going to start streaming. And now, if you see on the screen, it actually says live. And if I were to pop up a chat, so let's just put up, David's chat, and then we go over here to RTM, the server. I could actually click it, hit play, and it is the output of OBS. So it actually lets you preview the stream in the browser where you could configure it, which I think is very helpful. And so now you can actually preview the stream is there. And then let's say you want another stream. So let's say David gets a stream. So there's, a second stream, and he's got his own, server address and his own streaming key. And so you, in theory, could have several streams hitting this server, really easily. And I like how it does a little preview for you. Like I said, this is, I think, really helpful. And just the option to actually, again, I took this chat down, so, but you would see it there. So I think the fact that it has built-in previews and built-in, stream creation and built-in previews and stuff, I think is pretty cool. So the one thing, David, you did ask about, does it do multi-push? It does not. And that's actually one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about. It doesn't do anything other than be a simple server. This product I think this thing could do so much more with a little tweaking. So I'm looking down here all a second. So Joe wants a stream. So Joe gets a stream. There's Toro. Hey, Toro. Toro gets a stream too. So there you see, it's making the different URLs. It's making the stream keys. I think this is pretty cool. It does a preview. I mean, so it's like I would say 50% there. There's some tweaks that I want to do about it, but unfortunately, there's nothing else. Um,
Hi.
Hi, hun. The camera's off right now. If you want to drop off, or you want to be on, do you want to be on camera?
No.
Okay.
My milkshake brings all the nerds to the yard, and they're like, what expect in yard?
Oh, now you have to come over here and sing that.
No
that's
way.
that's that's crazy good. Okay, hold on, guys.
No, 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 no.
Okay, hold on. Story time. So, if you haven't, you probably heard the song years ago. The milkshake brings the boys to the yard. So we were driving in a car,
Like
and
2 weeks ago,
2 weeks ago or whatever it was, and the commercial came on that used that song. And Haley loves music. So how Haley had never heard that song before is mind-boggling. So she Shazams the song, looks it up, starts playing it. Now it's her favorite song in the world. Not really, but I mean, it's one of her favorite songs. And so she just brought me a milkshake. Only because Haley is awesome and funny, she redoes words to the song. So she says, my milkshake brings all the nerds to the yard. What did it go? It's like, my Linux is better than yours. My Ubuntu. So she quickly.
I can teach you. I got a last read.
So she's over here making up words of the song about milkshakes, Linux, Ubuntu, and live streaming. So anyway, well, thank you, hun. All right, so let's get back to. I'll come back to this in a second, Joe. Docker is magic. Joe says, love that there's a UI. Have not heard about this. Yes, I was loving the fact that there's a nice UI. Oh, David says, now do a Docker compose stats. Okay. Let's try that. Sudo. What am I missing? I'm guessing I'm missing something. Yeah. Oh, just Docker stats. There we go. So this is just one stream, of course. But there it's working. All right, so let's go back to chat. Oh, I'm sorry, that's probably there you go. So Toro says, hello to everybody. It's really, really working. Toro says this could be something they could use. The problem is I don't think it actually does multicast. Like, it's not actually. Well, I guess I'm not sure what you're talking about, multicast, your specific use case. Maybe you could elaborate, Toro. Eric says, any of these Unix app with a front end is very handy, especially if you're just experimenting. Yep. I'm the Oprah of streams. That's a good one. You get a stream, and you get a stream. Eric says hi to Ailey. Yep, now you want a milkshake, don't you? And this only can happen on a live stream. Toro says that song was the song was huge in the back of the day. I don't understand how she missed it. Oh, I mean, on camera, geez. So yes, so this is a good point, David. The thing has not been updated in 2 years. So obviously they either abandoned the project or they think it's complete. I do not think it's complete. So one of the things I would actually love to do is pick up the project. I've never done a GitHub project and never worked on a GitHub project before, but I would love to pick this up and try my hand at modifying it. I don't know very much about coding. I've made some Roku apps. I've made some apps before in the past. So I'm actually going to try to modify this project to include restreaming. So one input, multiple outputs, because NGINX can do that. So that's one thing I want to try. The other thing I want to do is try to enable HLS. So the reason why that's important is because Roku prefers HLS streaming. And so if you're going to stream something to a Roku, HLS is the best way to do that. And so I want to be able to have a checkbox under the stream configuration to generate HLS and give you the URL to to use for Roku. Because one of the things I do is I actually stream feeds into my house, and then via a local server I have, my Roku points to it. So if I want to stream something like a webcam or whatever it is, I actually just add it to the Roku index file, or in this case, I could add it to something else, stream RTMPie, and then it could generate a stream. I could put it into the index file or the table of contents file for the Roku app, and now I have, boom, a app on my TV where I could just simply hit, watch the webcam, or whatever else. So yeah, this is part of my idea. So let me keep going real quick, and I'll come back to this, and then we'll show you some slides about kind of phase 2 or maybe phase 1. I'm not sure of this idea I have. Joe says Haley Elliott. That's funny. Welcome in, Bob. Oh, my light turned off. Oh, must have. Oh yeah, dead battery. So I don't even know where I got this light from. I've had it for a while, but it uses, it uses just a regular battery, but it actually has a USB-C port in the battery, so I just got to charge it. Cool. Yeah, my milkshake brings all the nerds. Yeah, so so Toro says the stream is output with RTMP. Send the traffic once, and oh yeah. Send it on. So she heard the song on an ad. I don't know what the ad was for. I wasn't paying attention. So all of a sudden the song's on the air, and then like a minute later she's playing it on her phone, and I was like, "Wait a minute, did you just make that connection? Because that's like an old song." So yeah. Toro says, "Oh yeah, so you send once and receive many." Yeah, and that's like one thing too. Is I want to, if I'm gonna modify this project, like to be able to send, have other features built in. David says he can contribute. Awesome. David, send me a private message or an email or whatever. I would love to talk to you about this because like I said, I'm not really good on the whole programming thing, but I would love to know how to get started and kind of where we go from there. So one of the things that I talked about briefly was phase 2. Hold on. Graphics. So today at work, we actually pulled out these. These were told to go away. So they're currently sitting on this cart with, I don't know really have no use for it. And you're probably thinking, oh, old servers. Okay. Well, yes, they are maybe slightly older, but they have 4 SDI inputs or outputs, and they have 9 network jacks. So I feel like there's a use case for these servers for something. I do not want to throw these away, but I was told to e-waste them or repurpose them by the owners. The owners, for the record, are not the station. These are not station-owned servers. So I'm told to reuse these or repurpose them or recycle them, and I just can't stand to recycle these things. Not with 4 SDI 4 SDI cables. Sorry about that. So one of the things I have thought about is, can I modify RTMPie to drive some FFmpeg script or whatever, or process to send and or receive video via those SDI cables? I know it is possible to compile FFmpeg with the Blackmagic SDK into it so that it can write to or from SDI inputs. And so I'm thinking about combining all this together, the ability to bring in physical SDI cables or inputs or outputs into a server, have a web interface like RTMPie where I can simply go add a stream, tie it to an input jack, or make it do HLS, make it do restreaming to different people, or do multicast like Toro said. I'd love to just combine all this into one. We have servers that are like this from a company called Elemental that was bought by AWS, and it's a Linux box, and it brings in videos via SDI cables, and it streams them and does all kinds of stuff. That box is crazy expensive. But I feel like RTMPie's got a really good start at something. Just need to figure out how to drive FFmpeg, and it does it. I did find in the GitHub where for that preview, for this preview, to make this preview is actually being generated by FFmpeg. So it can control an FFmpeg instance. So I feel like it wouldn't take much more modifying of the code to come in here and simply have, a box like generate HLS, restream to YouTube, or push to physical output 3 or whatever. I feel like it shouldn't take much to add some options in here. So what are your thoughts? And my chat did freeze, but it came back on its own, so that's better than before. Jason's Lab's in the house. Yes, everyone hangs out here every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So Toro says, grabby hands. David, I don't know what those are. I was actually asked by Bob earlier because I sent him a picture of that. And he wanted to know kind of what they were too. I just pulled them out of the server racks today. I have no idea what they are. So I will have to go look at those. Yes, sorry, they're 8+1. You're correct. There's an ILO port. I don't remember. I don't know if I can. They may not actually be Blackmagic. A different streaming provider we have, who shall remain nameless, they use Blackmagic cards. I've actually pulled their boxes apart. They use Blackmagic, and they run Linux. So I have a feeling they're doing something similar to what I'm trying to design or want to design. So I don't know what kind of cards these are. Let me see if I can zoom in. They're No, they're not Black Magic because they're labeled. The card has a 2174 on it. So is that an Aja? That might be an Aja. Um, Here, I could show you. So if we look in, that's the card. So, anyway, even if they're not Black Magic cards, I have a Black Magic card. I have several out of old machines, so that's not an issue. I can change a card out. So yeah, I'm not sure if they're deck links. Like I said, well, I can. Toro says I'm currently running an HP G8. Bob says the most ridiculous PF servers with failover. I mean, maybe for fun. I've actually never set up failover, so that could be interesting. Just to see, actually do a failover. Although, and you probably know this, Bob, failover requires 3 static IP addresses. I think you got to be static. I don't think it'll do it with dynamic IP addresses. But if you know, let me know, because if yeah, I don't know if you can actually do that. Eric says I'm seeing virtual master control in the future. I mean, anything's possible. I don't know. So Jason's Lab says, I wonder if those are G8s or G9s. Yeah, I will. How about this? I will go find out, and I will post in the community section of my channel tomorrow. Hold my beer. No, hold my milkshake. Hold my milkshake. Yeah, Jason, this is a super secret place. Tell everyone you know. I mean, could be either, but it looks like a G8 to me. Let's go back to the PC. Hold on. And let me go. Hold on a second. Before I show something I don't want to show. That is the wrong window. That is the wrong window. Where'd my windows go? Oh yeah, I'm in weird mouse issues, or I'm in weird territory because I realize I don't have my. I can't actually view. There we go. Sorry about that. Need to find a better way to do that. Oops. Jeez. Do they say anywhere on these things what they are? Ah. They have SAS drives in them. Getting rid of the chat would probably help because you could probably see better. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that you can. I don't think I can. This is zoomed out all the way. Oh, down here? Oh, I cut it off ever so. Yeah, I should have took a different picture, I guess. Slightly different. Like I said, I'll look tomorrow. Hi, Thomas. Welcome in. They are Deck Tech cards. Oh, yeah, I've heard of that company before. Deck Tech, yeah. No, I've definitely heard of that. They make good cards. I don't have a use for them, but they make really good cards. I'll have to see if they can find out a use case for them. I just cannot. I just cannot stand to throw these things away. They're just too good to throw away. Toro says requires 3 IP addresses. Failover will work with 1 static IP address. Well, I don't have a static, but I could kind of fake it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. Could try it. High availability is direct attach. Yeah, I'm curious. Thomas, I think your name sounds familiar. I don't know where I know that from, but maybe it does sound familiar. Oh, it requires 3 internally, but 1 static. Well, I could fake that for like a test. I mean, my IP address hasn't changed in several months, so and it's not static, but it's basically static. But yeah, I could. That might be a fun stream. We could do set up. I mean, they're loud as hell, though. I guess we'll see how good the microphone actually is on that. So Joe's saying hi to Thomas. It was you. Okay, welcome back. David's saying good, saying hi to Thomas. Yeah, they're out of the picture. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I should have took a better picture. Your shirt's very appropriate right now. That's a good one, Bob. That is very true. So my shirt says, "I find your lack of camera angles disturbing." Aaron Parecki made it. I thought it was a brilliant shirt to make. I bought it. I, of course, wore it to work the next day. Got several comments like, "That's a great shirt." I'm like, no, it really is a great shirt. So I almost took a picture inside. I really should have. Obviously, I really didn't plan this very well. I know. I feel like there were dual CPUs inside, or there were at least dual slots, because there was black and blue RAM sticks, and they were pretty filled out, if I remember correctly. They were pretty stacked in terms of RAM. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't. I have the email where it says to e-waste them, and I'm like, or repurpose them, and I'm like, you said repurpose them, so goody. We'll see what I come up with. So far, I like the PFSense idea just to try it once. Not that I have a purpose for it at all, and I'm not going to burn that kind of power on PFSense. Well, I have a feeling Bob would. Bob loves his PFSense, so Bob might burn the power on that. Thomas says they are most likely Gen 9. Well, for context, they're about 3 years old, maybe 4 years old at most, if that helps you guys. No, deck techs are not cheap cards at all. They make some really good stuff. I remember they make an ASI card that I think most people actually use. ASI, for those who don't know, is a transfer that basically uses SDI cables or SDI connectors and whatnot, but it's compressed. So it's up to 270 megabits per second, and I think that's all you can go up to. But it's basically compressed video over coax, and so our encoders will actually take the signals and compress them down to one signal. It comes out of the box as ASI at 19.39 megabits per second, and then it goes through the plant to the radios. The radios shoot it out to the transmitter site, it comes out of the radios as ASI, goes down into the transmitter, and then goes into the transmitter as ASI. So it's an interface that allows you to specify the bandwidth and transport essentially compressed video over it. And I think I've seen deck tech cards used for that as well. What is the SPP? I don't know what that is. Yes, it's an Aaron PK shirt. Thomas says, the station I volunteer at uses several of the SDI to IP and IP to SDI units from deck tech. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I actually have, somewhere at work, a deck tech ASI to IP converter that we used for one of our live shot receivers. So, and that thing worked for you. That thing was caked in dust. I should take a picture of it. That thing was absolutely caked in dust. It was in the penthouse suite, not like an actual penthouse, but they call it the penthouse of a skyscraper. And we'll just say there were holes in the wall for a while, for years, until they recently remodeled it. So it got awfully dirty and disgusting up there. And this thing kept running for years, as did the Ubiquiti Tough Switch, the 5-port PoE Tough Switch. That thing ran for years in a dirty environment with no air conditioning, no heating. Thing just ran. The deck tech did, the Ubiquiti did. Both great products. Highly recommend. Jason says the black's not RAM. They're not RAM slots? I thought there were two different colored RAM slots because there were two CPUs. Now I'm curious. Yeah, the deck tech cards are amazing. Does the Intel badge at the bottom left tell you the CP type? Oh, I don't know. It just says Intel Xeon. And that is the only branding I see. Yeah. So like I said, I'm very impressed with RTMPie that they've done so far. I'd like to take it to the next level. David, if you know how to code or have some insights, please reach out to me directly. Love to have a conversation about that. I don't know how hard or easy it is going to be. I think it's possible. One of the things that I'll probably do next week, I think I'm here next week. Am I here next week? Yes. So next Monday, what I might do is try to build FFmpeg with the Blackmagic SDK into a machine that actually has Blackmagic cards. Because as far as I know, they're the only ones that you can do that with, but maybe I'm wrong. But I'd like to build that into the system, see if I can't actually output video to a Blackmagic card via FFmpeg. Like I said, I know it's possible. I've never done it before. So, we'll see if that's possible. Then maybe can incorporate that into some sort of RTMPie package thing. Don't know. So Thomas says, oh yeah, so Thomas was doing the ASI to IP. So you probably have the same little gray box that I have. So yeah, so any questions? How how do you think this went with my changes that with the monitor and the Stream Deck? Any other questions in general? Thoughts? Thomas asks, have you ever or looked at local BTV, our stations to streams? No, I have not have heard of them before. One thing I did, I have started playing around with at work, is a product called XPlayout. It's master control. It's basically a master control software package that lets you make your own TV channel or linear playout channel, I should say, whether that's for internal, whether that's whatever. It's called XPlayout. It's about $2,000 to $3,000 depending upon what options you buy. But let me just tell you, when it comes to master control software, XPlayout is cheap. I mean, it's cheap for what it is. And so XPlayout allows you to build your own playlist of files. You can segment content in it. You can have as run logs. So Thomas, if you are looking at that kind of stuff, I would look at XPlayout. You probably already have a product that you like, but if you haven't heard of XPlayout, I would go try it. You can try it yourself. It's called XPlayout. You can download the free version. Just watermarks your video. So if you wanted to have a linear channel to play content out, say on a patio, and you just wanted to play video after video after video after video, try XPlayout. Pretty cool. Oh, sorry about that. Oh yeah, so promotion update. I forgot you asked that question. Things are going good. My new guy started a couple weeks ago. Great, working out very well, very happy. But I feel like I'm busier now than I was before because I'm doing all the training and stuff. But I know that will calm down as things go on. We're getting some projects done. Trying to line up more projects for the end of the year. It is, July 24th, so we have to get budgets in, which is, not the fun part, if you will, but definitely good. Today was a very interesting day. We did reboots on some servers, and they didn't come back. Got the spinning blue wheel of death, basically, applying updates, do not reboot, do not power cycle, and it just hung there. I mean, for like an hour and didn't do anything. And so we're like, well, crap, that not good. And they're virtual machines, so there's no physical cable to go unplug or whatever. So we had to hard power cycle the virtual machine, and it came back, and then it did updates and rebooted again and did more updates and rebooted again, and it did it like 3 times. And so that was interesting because 2 of our main servers both had that happen. And then our graphics system today was acting funny at noon, and then by like 4 o'clock, it wasn't working. Like, it just decided to die. Again, updates rebooted, and then the license broke, the playout channels died, the render service wouldn't run, and there's something else. So 4 things broke on this server or this graphics system. There's 5 servers in all. So 4 things died on 5 different servers. Like, it was, yeah. So it was a very interesting day. Got nothing really accomplished other than troubleshooting on-air issues. Joe says that I'm much more comfortable on camera than we started. I would hope so, but thank you for those words. We run Master Play on Air. I have never heard of that before. So let's go take a peek. What is Master Play on Air? I'm guessing this. All right, single and on multi-channel. That's cool. Segment editor, good. Includes a hardware MPEG decoder. Oh, so it's actually got hardware. Okay. Supports NDI. Interesting. Reseller. Upcom. I've heard of Upcom before. They make really cheap receivers, but they're cool receivers. They definitely say that. They're definitely nice. Downloads. So installation for DEC link and streaming. I'm a little concerned that they haven't updated anything since 2017. That's a little concerning. But yeah, so we use XPlayout, like I was telling. B&H sells it, and it's yes, it's basically, looks like this, and here's all the different segments or commercials. There's a preview window. It has built-in graphics. I think it does streaming as well. It can actually control. Control Blackmagic routers or video hubs, as they call them. It'll actually control your video hub. You just point at the IP address, and it can actually switch sources for you. So, if you wanted to say, be on this feed from a certain time and then switch to this feed at a different time and then switch to another feed at a different time, you could program that into XPlayout and it will do it for you. So I'm not sure all of you have a need for that, but if you ever do, check that out. How about the trailer? So the trailer, well, there's two trailers that I want to do. One is kind of built and one hasn't even started yet. Haven't got approval to do the one at work. The other trailer is kind of on hold. The university likes it, but doesn't really fit their needs, I guess, if you will. So there's talk of building a dedicated control room in the gym and getting rid of the trailer, or at least taking equipment out of the trailer for that dedicated control room. The trailer really needs insulation. That's definitely an issue that it has. The floor is not as strong as it should be, so that's kind of an issue. I did talk to them about before the season starts, if we want to continue using the trailer to make some changes, like, put some insulation down, strengthen the floor, that kind of stuff, because it really needs it. But yeah, so the trailer's kind of just stuck right now. Nothing really moving forward. We do have a parade coming up that we need to find a trailer for, or we need to build a trailer for. So we need to find one or build one. Maybe I can get it done this year. I don't know if I can. We'll see. I don't know. Don't really have much more to say than that because nothing's really happening. Yeah, it was an interesting interesting day, to say the least. Master Play can control a Blackmagic hub. Yep, that's cool. Their API is open, so not surprised. I'm sure you can build your own software to control the router if you really wanted to. Alrighty, so. Oh yeah, 1JAU, Eric. Thank you. That's one thing I still want to figure out is get a JAU counter down here, like just a constant clock. That'd be cool. You know what I could do, because I don't have a use for this hyperdeck. I could make an animated video or Joe, you could make an animated video for me that I could key over, play off the hyperdeck, and although it's got to be ProRes, so it probably would not fit on an SD card because ProRes is like that. Maybe that's something I could. I don't know. You just gave me an idea, Eric. How much ProRes could you fit onto a 16 gigabyte card? I'm guessing not very much. Alrighty, so if you guys don't have anything else, I'm gonna call this a wrap. I appreciate you all being there. Joe says just use OBS key. I could. I was hoping to actually have a use for this. But I guess I don't need one. It's just an idea. But I haven't seen OBS do count up timers. They usually do count down timers, but I want a count up timer. Maybe I'll play with that for next week. I don't know. But anyway, I want to thank you all. I am truly grateful that you're all here every Monday night. I will see you next Monday, and I hope you all have a great week.